Good morning, everyone. Well, welcome to the New Coach Show. I'm Karina Stewart. I'm super excited to be with you guys today. Happy Monday morning. I've been on a bit of a hiatus on the visible front of things as I've been deep into leadership training, which has been really incredible. And it's really the inspiration for what I want to share with you guys today. You know, something that I share all the time with my clients. I want to really give you this perspective on it today, which is you are money. You are money. Now, one of the ways in which often we can deflect, you know, if money isn't showing up in our lives, if we're not getting the clients, if we are believing that we're not ready to make great money, if we're not believing that money is on our team, you know, I'll often share with you that, you know, money is a spiritual ally of yours. Money is on your team. But if you are not experiencing that, there is a gap. There's a gap that you're creating, that you are creating between you and money being on your team and money being a spiritual ally and ultimately about you being money. And so let's take a look at that. So one of the things you could do right now is just write down, you know, any piece of paper you have right now. If you've got a notebook around you, you know, get out a piece of paper. And I want you to write down five ways right now that you are experiencing money, just whatever they are, positive, negative. How are you experiencing money right now? So write down those 5 ways. And I'll give you guys like a minute here to do that. Just write those things down. Quickly write that down. I'm just gonna do the timer. Give you guys a full minute. 5 ways that you're being with money in this moment. How are you being with money in your life? How are you being with money in your business? How are you being with money in your relationships? How are you being with money when it comes to paying your bills? How are you being with money? All right, we're just about 30 more seconds. 5 ways, make sure you come up with 5 ways. And you can come up with more because there's probably many ways that you're being with money. If you're struggling with this, just think about the last time you needed to pay a bill, the last time you felt that you needed money, or you experienced maybe joyfulness about money. You know, maybe it was a payment that came in or a client that you got. How are you being with money? Okay, time's up for now. This is a really good exercise. You can do this anytime, like anytime you want to actually activate wealth from within, which is what being money is all about. First step is always to write down like 5 ways that I'm being with money right now. Okay, now take a look at that list. Take a look at that list and notice which paradigm are you in. Are you in a paradigm of lack and scarcity around money primarily, or are you in a paradigm of abundance, of wealth? Which is it? Okay. And you get to work with either. Okay. So first let's work with the space of, let's say you're being with money right now in a limited fashion. You're being limited with money. You're being scarce about money. You're being negative about money. You're believing in a deficit. You're being disempowered about money. Okay, so that would be the paradigm that I call the old money matrix, which is like a lot of times money is coming from here in the head. You see it as something outside of you. You see it as something to get, to own, to possess. All right, you see it as separate from you ultimately. Okay. If you're seeing it from a place of wealth consciousness, then you are experiencing money as flow, as abundant, as infinite. All right. And we get to work with both. All right. So if you're in the paradigm of money is limited, money is scarce, money is challenging, money is hard, I don't have enough, right? So you are being limited. You are being in scarcity. You are being you're being with a finite consciousness of money. All right. So first you want to reflect on that. Now, what you want to do in order to activate wealth and become money, to become wealthy, it is just always one spiritual shift away, one. And that starts with you. All right. So the one we're going to work with today is money is love. Money is love. And so if you're in that space where you're saying to yourself, you know what, I don't have enough, I'm not able to pay my bills, I'm feeling frustrated, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling rejected, all of those things, right? What we're going to do now is I want you to take a look at where are you allowing yourself to receive love, and where are you allowing yourself to give love? So a sure and tried way of activating wealth from within is to increase the amount of love that is pouring out from your heart. This is not something you can do, okay? It's not like a to-do list. I'm gonna do more love. No, I'm gonna be more love. So now I want you to write down 5 ways in which you can be more loving. How can you be more loving? It might begin with you. I can be more loving to myself. I can be more forgiving of myself. I can be more loving to my spouse. I can be more forgiving of my spouse. I can be more loving to my children. I can be more loving to my clients. I can be more loving to my neighbor. All right, so write down 5 ways that you can become more loving right now and in this moment. And as you're working on that, I'm also going to talk about if you discover that you're in a paradigm of wealth consciousness and you are being loving with money, you are being abundant with money. Now you get to play a bigger game. Now you get to become even more generous. Now you get to see yourself in a bigger, more expansive way. Okay, because there's always more to create, and there's always more to give, and there's always more of yourself to receive, to experience, and to allow others to experience. And so I want you to write down 5 ways in which you can be more generous. 5 ways that you can be more generous. Now notice, love and generosity, they absolutely go together, okay? But if you found yourself in the limited, scarce paradigm of money, I want you to focus on love. And if you found yourself in the wealth consciousness paradigm, which is the new money matrix, then I want you to notice where you can be giving more, where you can be more generous. Okay, generosity is connected to gratitude, which is at the top of the wealth ascension pyramid. Those of you who have done my work or have been listening to me for a while know that wealth consciousness exists on 4 scales of a pyramid. Just picture a triangle. And at the bottom level is money as service. So that's being of service to others. And the next level is love. Being love, activating love within you, experiencing money as love. Then we go into money as truth, which is to hold yourself in authenticity, to be in integrity with who you are, and to be a vessel that actually calls others to become more authentic. And at the very top is where we have gratitude, generosity, and your power. It's also what I call money as God, because you are being a steward of the divine. You are being a steward of spirit embodied in you, God embodied in you, and an awareness that you are here to be a transformation in the world, to be a powerful, impactful human being that goes way beyond the self, way beyond personal. All right. So hopefully at this point now you have 5 ways that you can be more loving if you find yourself in the deficit of money and in a relationship that's of limited and deficit. If you find yourself to be in abundance and flowing and you're experiencing yourself as wealth, then you should have 5 ways in which you can be more giving, you can be more generous. Okay, so now I want to give you an experience, all right? So we're going to activate an experience of wealth consciousnness to move you into an expanded experience of money, you as money, and you as well, all right? So I'm going to do an activation for you guys. That's perfect. My time is 12:12 right now, so we have perfect synchronicity for this moment. So here we go. All right, you guys, close your eyes. And I want you to go into your heart. And as you're breathing in and out through your heart, I want you to imagine that those 5 ways of being, more love, those 5 ways of being more generous, they're right there inside your heart. Maybe it's the words, the sentences, or maybe it's just a feeling right now. Maybe it's just the word of love or the word generosity. Allow that to emerge, to rise up in the center of your heart. And I want you to begin with a heart breath. This shifts you from the head into the heart. We're going to come into heart consciousness. Breathing in and out through your heart now. And as you breathe in and out through your heart, feel yourself expanding a bubble of generosity, a bubble of love, expanding it and expanding it, this energy ball of love and generosity, and start to put it all the way around you. So you're actually sitting inside this beautiful container of love and generosity. We're shifting the very oxygen that you're breathing so that the quantum field around you is actually transmitting love and generosity. It is transmitting wealth. You are becoming wealth. And now start to bring others in with you. Everyone that we're connecting with together in this experience together, we are all now inside each and every one of our bubbles of generosity and love together. We're united. We're connecting to those that we want to give our love to, that we want to receive love from. We're connecting to those that we want to be more giving towards and that we want to experience more generosity from. And can we imagine yourself, stretch yourself to putting the entire human family and the entire earth and maybe even beyond, like all the life in the universe, all of the cosmic living life, all of it as an experience of love and generosity. I just felt that really shift us up and really stretch us to opening up our reality bubbles, expanding us to seeing deeper, to seeing more, to expanding ourselves. And now pouring through your heart a light. This is your light. It is your soul's light. It is the frequency of your soul and who you came here to be, starting to expand and beam out through your heart like a flash of light. Just let it expand out and be with your light now. Money is light. Money is light. That is the new experience of money. That is money as light, which is money as wealth, which is money being on your team and you being in the goodness, the highest creation of money now. Let this shift just take over. Surrender to it now. You as light, you as money, you as love, you as generosity. Money as infinitely available. And stay with this until you feel the shift. If you haven't felt the shift yet, you're in your head. Get back into your heart. Use the visual of light just pulsating through you. Allow yourself to shift into being light, being love, being money as love, being money as generous, being money as light. It very quickly can dissolve fear around money, tension around money, anxiousness around money, worry around money if you surrender to this, if you surrender to the activation within you to become a wealthy portal of money. Be in your power to create money. whenever you choose it. And now, if you are feeling this shift, you can come back into the space and just opening your eyes. I'm just like bouncing. I felt the shift. I felt it. It really shifted me into a space of awareness, into the depth within me, the power within me, present moment powerfulness. Please share in the comments, what did you experience? If you have experienced the shift already, share what you experienced, because as you do that, that starts to actually transmit that experience to others. Consciously and unconsciously, it begins to shift all of us into becoming money. And I want to leave you with this message, because often we can look out into the world and we can say, well, there's this problem, there's this issue, like poverty, for example. And if that touches your heart, and I hope it does, because if you're a living, breathing human being on this planet and you're not concerned about those that don't have on this planet, those that are going hungry, then you're not letting it in. You're not letting in that it's up to you, that it's up to you to shift that consciousness. It's up to you not only to shift it for you if you don't have, okay, because that's your job. It's your responsibility, right? If you don't have absolutely everything that you are desiring right now to live a thriving, abundant life where you get to give generously, it's your job to create that. All right. And it's also your job, as well as my job, to transform this planet into one that is a wealthy, thriving planet where there is no one that is going without. That's up to each and every one of us. And so how does that begin? It begins with you. When I first got on this journey of activating wealth and receiving the new money codes of wealth that are available for us inside our heart, I began to notice how I was passing the buck on that experience, meaning I was saying, well, someone else will take care of it, right? Like, I don't need to do it. I don't need to take on creating $1 million, right? Because gosh, like, I don't really need that. Well, guess what? What I discovered in that was actually, I didn't have the right to do that. I didn't have the right to say that it wasn't important to me, because when I do that, I actually create an opportunity for others just like me to have $1 million company, to have $100,000 in the bank, to grow in our wealth together. You see, when we all start to source wealth from within, we create more wealth for each other. That is how we will create a planet of oneness, of unity, and ultimately a planet of peace. The wars that are happening on this planet right now are because of you and I. It's because we are enabling it. It's because something inside of us isn't taking ownership over our own money consciousness. There's so much of where the wars are coming from, and disagreements, whether it's in your own family and your relationships or conflict within you, is because of money. It's it's the number one thing that gets in the way of relationships is money. And so pay attention to your ways of being this week with money, and notice, where do you get to shift? And do the work. Become more loving, become more generous, and activate that love frequency. Activate that frequency of generosity within you first, and then notice how you show up in the field of wealth. Don't back down from it, because there will be things that come up for you. There'll be conversations that come up for you that have been really with you all along, right? Which is like, maybe it's, I'm afraid of my own success. Maybe it's, I'm afraid people will judge me if I have money. I'm afraid people will want my money, or I'm afraid to see what will happen if I no longer have this story of victim around money, or I no longer have this story that I don't have enough, right? So pay attention to that. Become super conscious this week about how you're being with money, and take responsibility for that. And as you own that and begin to create what it is you actually want to create by taking ownership, you're going to see a shift in your money, and you're going to see a shift in the way you're thinking, so that the mind and the heart start to line up into a wealthy heart and a wealthy mind and unifying the heart mind. All right, you guys. Well, I hope that helps you. Let me know what you got from this and come back. Come back in like 24 hours, then 48 hours, 72 hours, and share. Share how you're becoming more loving. Share how you're becoming more generous and what you're experiencing because of it when it comes to your money. All right, you guys. Have an amazing week. I wish you all the abundance, wealth, and transformation this week. All right, you guys. Infinite love.